Not all fairy tales have a happy ending, and this is one of them. For all of their brilliance, they failed at the biggest of tests in the world champions. France have made back-to-back finals. Lucky, your thoughts on this game?
I, I think that we can congratulate them for an excellent outcome, but they came up against a very strong side, a very effective side, a side that is experienced. Listen, most of these players have been there before. Griezmann, Hugo Lloris, Kylian Mbappe, Varane. These guys have been there before. Olivier Giroud himself. They've seen it all. They know what it takes. They have the temperament to play at this stage of world football. So I wasn't so surprised. I was hoping that we could continue that African momentum, we could continue that drive. Hopefully, my head was hoping that Lionel Messi might get a bit more of a cheaper draw against Morocco. But hey, the truth of the matter is, listen, the French side are a very good side. They didn't create a lot of chances. If you look at the stats, especially in the first half, they had just one shot on target, and that was the strike by Theo Hernandez. On the other hand, the Moroccans had two shots on target in the first half, but they couldn't score. So clearly, it was them picking their moment and picking what is it called, scoring in those moments that they picked. And if you look at the second goal, they picked the right moment. Kylian Mbappe doing all the hard work, then they score. So the Moroccans is a bit disappointing because at the moment when you expect that, listen, this is the defense that have been resolute all throughout the tournament. It has literally stood the test of time in the group stage, the quarterfinals, and you expected that you will see this defense come to the party and give the French,
A good run for their money.
run for their money, a tough time. Yes, they did at certain points of the game. I feel that there were moments where the Moroccans also had the opportunity to equalize and even go ahead to win this game or score, but some of these guys, you don't know what was going through their head. Moments when they should shoot, they try to do too many, one touch too many. Every good coach will tell you that in the 18-yard box, you do not take a lot of touches. You pick your moment, you shoot. There's a tendency that you might get one or two ricochets here and there, but hey, kudos to France. We would have one of the best, World Cup final games we've seen in a long time. What we saw in 2018 wasn't so much of, a competition. France against Croatia, it wasn't the bookmakers' picks, but in 2014, Argentina, Germany was a very, very good pick. 2010, the Dutch side coming up against the Spanish side, based on World Cup history, a very, very good pick. So this is one of those, finals that almost everybody is looking up to that final. Will this be Kylian Mbappe's second time of winning the trophy? Will Lionel Messi finally pick up the trophy that has eluded him all these years? We are, like I said yesterday, whatever happens, on Sunday, we'll have a first. We are either going to have a Lionel Messi first World Cup, trophy, or we are going to have, France doing a back-to-back for the first time in as many years. Yes. So it's, for me, this World Cup has been an exciting World Cup, and I can't wait for Sunday. Good show by Morocco or by all standards.
Percy, the Moroccan journey came to an end, albeit they had spells which they could have turned around the story, but indecisiveness and profligacy cost them.
Yeah, it was obvious from the first half. Like I said, he was going to try. The coach Walid was going to try to bring in an attacker to stop the back five. That was when he brought in the number 9, who actually was very profligate. He was not decisive in the final half of the game, and it was more like a novice going against an experienced team. You see, the World Cup is like the Champions League. We hardly get a team that makes it the first time a fairy tale all through to the final and win. Even the Croatian side that came to the final the first time had been to the quarterfinals before. That is Davustuka's Croatia in 1998. It seems they even went to the semifinals. So apart from this once in a blue moon that we've had, I can trace you as far back as in 62. You've never had a first timer. Every team that has gone to the final has either won it before, apart from, you can talk of 2010 that you had Spain, and Spain were coming in the form of their life, that they came to the final and won. But save them, every team that has gone to the final, that is the two finalists, 2014, lucky went there. You talk of 2006, you had blockbuster, France and Italy. You talk of 2002, a blockbuster, Germany, Brazil, on and on and on, to even as far back as 74. You had so 74 was the first time that you had something like that. That's the Dutch coming against the Germans. So this is something that if you are taking a historical antecedent to it, history was not going in favor of Morocco, because the first time you had a first timer, that's the Spanish. They came in as European champions in the form of their life, and the other time you couldn't trace as far back as 1974. That's over 50 years ago. 52, you can talk about that. So history was not on their side. We were expecting this to go on and on and on and on and on, but every fairy tale has an end, and I'm just hoping that at least they will bag at least the third place, which would be a fairly good something to talk about, because for the Croatians, at least they've been second before. So if Africa has gone on to be in the semi-finals, I'm expecting that they top this up with a third place finish, a bronze finish, and that would be very good for the continent.
So, guys watching us, you could share the link with your friends and family members. Invite people to hop onto it. This is Sports 101, a post-match reaction to the semi-final between France and Croatia. If you've just joined the feed, share the link with your friends. I'll take a few of your messages pretty shortly, but share the link with your friends. Invite others to hop on board, and do take note, on Sunday we're going live for the big one. It's France versus Argentina, the grand finale, the bookmakers final, and it's a repeat of the round of 16 of the 2018 FIFA World Cup, where France actually blew away Argentina in that particular one. But guys, if you just joined the feed, please share the link, invite friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports 101. Subscribe to get exclusive, great content that you would love if you're a sports lover, and spread the message with your friends as well. But lucky, we have the final that we've all been looking forward to. France versus Argentina. In that meeting in Russia, it was epic. It was a game that was end-to-end, lots of attacking instinct from either side. But it's a final, and you wouldn't expect the two teams to play without the handbrake. We're expecting it to be cagey. Actually, if you check through the FIFA World Cup history, in all of the semi-finals since 1990, this edition is the only edition where we've had teams win the semi-finals by 2 or more goals. It's been a rare feature. The last time it ever happened was in 2014. That was won by 6 goals, Germany and Brazil. So it's always been cagey, but these two have blown away the opponents, set the tone for what you expect on Sunday.
I think that these two sides deserve to be in the finals. They are the two sides that have been very consistent in terms of they taking on opponents. But since the Argentines lost to the Saudis, they've been very consistent, very, very strong all throughout the tournament. You do not get to this stage by being lucky. No. You get here by taking your chances, you get here by being consistent, you get here by being effective, and that is what the Argentines have shown. The French side, we all know what they've been able to do from the group stage up until this point. So it's going to be an exciting final. Like you said, it's the bookmakers final. Everybody was literally rooting for France, because some may think that Argentina, Morocco would have been seemingly a cool chop for Argentina. France posed a much sterner test to Argentina. They posed a much more bigger test to Argentina, and there will be a lot of subplots. There will be a lot of amazing battles. One battle that personally I'm looking forward to is the probably Otamendi, Kylian Mbappe battle. I'm looking forward to either Otamendi, Antoine Griezmann battle. There are a lot of battles. I do not know whether Nicolas Tagliafico is going to maintain his spot at the left-hand side of defense. I hope that Acuna would have. It's the final, so all the cards would have been scrapped. So Acuna will come in, but it will be also an interesting battle. Acuna, Dembele, or even Acuna, Kylian Mbappe, because we know Kylian Mbappe will play it on the left or the right. So there are a lot of subplots in there, even in the middle of the park. Chouameni going up against Paredes and all of that. There will be lots and amazing, interesting battles in there. The battle of the Manchester players, Varane coming up against Julian Alvarez. There's Lionel Messi coming up against Varane or Kanute or Jules Koundé. Lots of battles in there. I think that this is going to be one of the best World Cup finals we've witnessed, and I'm looking forward to this final. It will be so difficult to predict. If you can decide to go with your head by saying, "Oh, maybe Argentina will win because of your affiliation," or France will win because of what your affiliation, but this is going to be a difficult final. France have enough quality spread around the attacking area to hit the Argentines. If you look at the Argentine team, if Lionel Messi does not get going, the team is numb. The team is literally, stifled. The Argentine team needs Messi to get going. We saw what he did against Croatia yesterday. Everything good by the Argentines ran through him. But if you look at the French side, Kylian Mbappe could have an off day. In the first half, he had an off day, but Antoine Griezmann, for me, he is the unsung hero in this French national team. He's been the best playmaker in this tournament. The best playmaker has not been Lionel Messi, it's been Antoine Griezmann. Every single good play of the French national team revolves around Antoine Griezmann. I'm looking at how the Argentine defense will be able to put the brakes on him, because if you stop him, it looks like that link-up play between Tchouaméni and Antoine Griezmann is that which makes the French tick, because he is that progressive player in there. He is that player that finds either Kylian Mbappe on the left or Ousmane Dembele on the right. Stop him, and Kylian Mbappe would have to come back and do a lot. And we saw that when Olivier Giroud was taken off, if you play him through the middle, you do not see much of him. You'd have to come back, try and get the ball and try to do things on his own. Antoine Griezmann would be a key factor, a deciding factor to what happens on Sunday. So the battles are spread across, but the one thing that does not go well for the Argentines, like I said, is the inability of the team to have a lot of game changers in there. Take away Lionel Messi, I'm not seeing any game changer, anybody who can take the game at the scruff of its neck and say that I'm going at this opponent. It's not. Julian Alvarez cannot do that. Fernandes cannot do that. Paredes cannot do that. We've not seen a lot of Dybala save. Yesterday, I don't think he's the man. Even Angel Di Maria, I do not think he's the man. But the French team, if Dembele does not do it, Olivier Giroud is that man up front who can cause havoc. If he's not doing it, Kylian Mbappe is doing it. If he's not doing it, the man of the day, Antoine Griezmann is doing it. If he's not doing it, even Tchouaméni has been brilliant going for it, and he's been an excellent box-to-box midfielder. So I'm hoping that Sunday our viewers will join us on Sunday.
Yep.
They would support us. We'll start very early.
Yeah.
We'll give you an extensive preview, all the historical antecedents and all the historical previews and every fact you need to know leading to the final. So I'm hoping that they will join us. It's going to be an excellent final. I'm looking forward to this final. Aside, where I stand, Lionel Messi would win his first World Cup though, but it's going to be an interesting final. Why are you laughing?
But guys, if you tuned in, you could also let us know your predictions ahead of what is set to come on Sunday. And hey, do drop us your thoughts as well on the semi-final which you just witnessed between France and then Morocco. What do you make of Morocco's journey so far? Do you think they could place third? Remember, Africa had not reached this point till Morocco made it to the semi-final. We don't have a medal, so can Morocco get Africa's first medal? Let me take a few of your comments. Abigail Kujo says, France till the end, they are definitely going to defend their title on Sunday.
Abigail, stop it.
Abigail is rooting for France. Victoria Dazi says Argentina will drink goals on Sunday. So it looks like France have a lot of supporters. Chantel says Europe, as always, will win again. Thomas Cook is saying I expect France to win on Sunday. Kojo Hayford says France will win the World Cup. Emmanuel says France are so blessed. They are literally winning their World Cup with their team B. Frank Shakur says Charlie France will do something on Sunday. And PK Justice says great work by our standards. Thank you very much, PK, for joining in. Looks like a lot of our comments and viewers are rooting for France. The Argentinian fans who joined the stream yesterday, we're asking you to come and join. But hey, share the link, invite friends to come on board, and let's share the link as well. But it's been quite an exciting tournament, and I'm going to start because on Sunday we'll have the end of tournament awards, and I want us to start first of all with a candidate for player of the tournament. And for me, my player of the tournament has got to be Sofiane Amrabat.
Usually, the player of the tournament usually goes to
whoever wins.
Whoever, not necessarily the two teams that
In the
end
final.
up in the final, they'll try and look through them. It would have been great if Amrabat had made it to the final. I think that he would have had, a good shout for the player of the tournament. But listen, I look at the two sides, and if the player of the tournament is going to come from any of these two sides, I think that is going to come from the French national team. Not to say that they are going to end up winning it, but I look at the French national team, it has to be Antoine Griezmann. Unless you do not watch the game, unless you are not watching the game keenly and closely, and everything good. It's not Kylian Mbappe, it's Antoine Griezmann. And I listened to Christophe Dugarry yesterday in an interview, and he reiterated that the same statement and sentiment. And he even went further to, throw an interesting debate or a discussion out there. He said, this particular World Cup, we are seeing the best of Antoine Griezmann. It reminds him of the best of Michel Platini and the best of Zinedine Zidane put together in one player. I think that's too much of an ask. But listen, it's a testament of the work that Antoine Griezmann has done for this team. So if Antoine Griezmann does not win it, I think that any of Lionel Messi or Kylian Mbappe or the goalkeeper in Hugo Lloris would and even Emiliano Martinez can have a shout at it because he's been brilliant for Argentina. So these are my pick. Number 1, Antoine Griezmann. Number 2, Lionel Messi. Number 3, Kylian Mbappe. Number 4, what's his name? Hugo Lloris. Number 5, Emiliano Martinez.
Percy.
Somebody's asking, what am I probably drinking or am I probably smoking? But these are my top 5.
For my player of the tournament, the players I'm considering, one is Aurelien Tchouameni. For everything, he's actually been a sensation in this World Cup. He's been a discovery. He's been phenomenal. Not saying that he's the one that I would want to win. I think I would side with Lucky on this. That's the player of the tournament. But unfortunately, save everything that a player does. Statistics really count. That is statistics that are tangible, not. We see the player passing here, everything goes stream and blah, blah, blah. It has to do with goals and assists. Whatever you are assigned to do as a player, that's if a striker, were you able to score more goals? If you're an attacker, did you give assists and whatever? If you're a keeper, how many clean sheets? You see, it was a similar thing that happened to Lloris in 2018. Because of the goal he conceded in the final, that was why the third place keeper was rather given the Golden Glove. So for me, based on the statistics, I would have wanted Griezmann to win, but statistics doesn't really favor him. How many goals has he scored? How many assists has he given? He's created, but you see, these are all shadow stuff. They are peripherals. They are good. Like for us who really watch the game, they are good. But then, based on statistics, it would be between Messi and Kylian Mbappe. But if I'm going for, I think it would be decided in the final.
To help you out, do you know what is it called? Kylian Mbappe has 5 goals. Lionel Messi has 5 goals. And
3 penalties, you have to bring that in.
Kylian Mbappe did not score today. It actually sets the stage for hopefully Sunday. Yes. These two sides, whoever will win the Golden Boot or even the Golden Ball, would be between whoever. I think it might be at the back of their minds, especially Kylian. I'm sure that was one of the reasons why he wanted to score. He
wanted to make the best out of his
But it's going to be an interesting battle on Sunday.
But you look at the pair, they will definitely be the poster boys for Sunday's final. And it's a straight fight between the two.
Yeah.
Clearly, I want to align with Percy in as much as I would have preferred a player like in the shape of Amrabat to be given a shout in that particular context. Without a shot of doubt,
The numbers do not favor.
the numbers
will not favor you.
Favor him there. It's between Kylian Mbappe and Lionel Messi. Kylian Mbappe, the golden boy from 2018, and both are tied on 5 goals. Lionel Messi edges it because of the number of assists he's made. 3 assists as opposed to Kylian Mbappe's. You look through, if Mbappe should go on and own the stage in the final, does he take the golden boot and the golden ball away?
Obviously, he takes the golden boot and the golden ball away. The biggest stage, the grandest of stage. You look at these two players; they are the poster boys for the two teams. When it comes to Argentina, Lionel Messi is the poster boy. When it comes to the French national team, no matter what Griezmann may do, no matter what Dembele may do, this team is for Kylian Mbappe. He owns the team. He's a poster boy of the team. The French team is sponsored by Nike. The whole team, Nike pays Kylian Mbappe more than any of the players in there. That's why he has the guts to decide that, hey, I'm not doing any of these advert for the, you know what happened, the issues with Nike. So he is the poster boy. And on the pitch too, he's the poster boy. If it happens that on Sunday, you have Kylian Mbappe edging, Lionel Messi in terms of scoring more, or even going ahead, even if he does not score and he goes ahead to lift the trophy, I think that he will shade Lionel Messi in terms of the Golden Ball award. Maybe he may get, Lionel Messi may score, but when he will get the Golden Boot in terms of the number of goals being scored. But for the Golden Ball in terms of the best player, I think that if it happens that the French national team lifts the trophy, I think that Kylian Mbappe will shade it. And it would give him a huge advantage because at age 23, he won his first World Cup. And 4 years on, he's doing... 19, sorry. 4 years on at age 23, he's winning his second World Cup. That would be a huge plus for him because, listen, we talked about Pele when he was 17. We talked about Luis Nazario de Lima, Ronaldo, when he was 17. Even in 94, he didn't kick a single ball. At that time, he was 17. They were preparing for 98. But Kylian Mbappe at 19 was scoring in World Cup finals. He was leading his team to win the title. 4 years on, he has not looked back. He goes ahead to do that again. I think that when we are mentioning, or when it comes to the pantheon of great in terms of the World Cup, maybe for club football, because of where he plays, PSG, and because he's not done anything in quote meaningful in club football, people may not want to mention him in the discussion of the greatest players of all time. But when it comes to the best players that have ever graced the grandest of stages in world football, which is the World Cup, there is no way you will look past Kylian Mbappe if he's able to lift the trophy for the second time successively. That would be a massive achievement. Even the likes of Ronaldo who has not been able to do it. He tried 98, it didn't succeed. He goes ahead to do it in 2002. In 2006, he didn't succeed. The great Zinedine Zidane have not been able to do so. For somebody like Kylian Mbappe, listen, everything good is going for him. He has a very solid team behind him. He's a great player. We saw what he did today. His skill, arguably, you cannot question his skill. It would take, let me borrow somebody's words, it would take, the grandest of capitulation in an apocalyptic form, if this word is too small, for Kylian Mbappe to all of a sudden his form to go down in the final. Nobody would see, like all of a sudden he's performed from the group stages up until now, all of a sudden in the final he would disappear. He would have one of his worst games. I do not think that that's going to happen. That will be the second probably apocalypse we will see. But listen, I'm expecting that these two players will go at each other. That's why at the back of my mind, though I was rooting for Morocco, my boss is looking at me. Though I was rooting for Morocco, listen, this is the final that everybody would want to see. Lionel Messi, Kylian Mbappe. These two players should go at each other.
Lionel Messi has often been drawn in debates between himself, Mario Kempes, Batistuta, Maradona. But Mbappe is also putting himself in a certain category. France, we know Michel Platini hailed there. Zinedine Zidane. Is Mbappe gradually putting himself in that conversation as the greatest French player of all time?
It makes me talk about the fact that with everything that he said, that is why I wouldn't want to be mentioning Pele's name. That is me. For everything you talk about Pele, when he was 17, he scored twice in 58, 62. Pele was not part of that team. He went to the World Cup, got injured. In fact, even in 58, those who won the World Cup were Garrincha and Didi. In the same 62, it was Garrincha and Didi. Pele did not even play. It was from the first game. But because he was part of the team and he played one, that was why he was given. In 1970, he did not even score in the final. Pele was not the one who scored in the final. So for Pele, for everything he did, he played in 4 World Cups and he scored in 1 final. For Mbappe at 19, his first World Cup, he scores 4 goals. And he scores in the final. 4 years later, let's say he goes to the final and score. Why are we just talking about the fact that he's the greatest player in the grandest of stage? He's the greatest player in part, or if you're talking about the greatest of players who have come, he will be in that fold. Because
You think Mbappe will join the conversation of the GOATs?
why wouldn't you add him? No, why do you bring Maradona?
Whoa.
No, I'm saying why do you bring
But
Maradona?
I made this.
No.
David, I made this same statement years ago. Maradona is mentioned in the category of one of the greatest players of all time, not because of his club exploits, because
Because
the
of
only
one
thing,
World Cup.
Yes, the only thing Maradona did so well was to aid Napoli to win what is it called, the Scudetto at the time,
And the UEFA Cup,
the
that's
UEFA
all.
Cup. And when it comes to club football, even his time at Barcelona, because he had issues with indiscipline at Barcelona, had to let him go. So Maradona is mentioned for his exploit in the World Cup, and even in the World Cup, it was because of that outrageous exploit against what is it called, England in that quarterfinal. Aside that, what can you mention about Maradona? Yes, 5 goals, 5 assists in that final, in that competition, but we are mentioning him because of World Cup. So why can't you put Kylian Mbappe?
So when you were mentioning it for the French,
Kylian Mbappe
for the
is
French,
World Cup.
why would you mention Platini before you mention Mbappe? Why would you mention him? For everything Platini, it was the 1984 Euros. Mbappe will become the greatest French player ever.
If he lifts the trophy.
Why would you? No, Zidane will not. Why do you mention Zidane? You mention him because of 1998. You mention him because of Euro 2000. And this is a player who will lead the team to win a back-to-back World Cup final. See, it's not a matter of the names. I'm not of. We mention names and you mention Di Stefano and we mention for everything you mention about Cruyff. He played one World Cup, and he went to the final. So it doesn't make Cruyff. Cruyff will never be bigger or better than Kylian Mbappe, who has played in 2 World Cup finals, just 2, has scored 9 for everything you mention. It is not a matter of the names we mention. It is not a matter of the. See, one of the things that made, I always say that one of the things that made Maradona very popular was for he dishing out a revenge of the Argentines on the English because of political issues, and the fact that he himself was a controversial player, and that 1986 itself was a political World Cup. So bringing all of that in brought the hype in it. But if you are talking about football and achievement, Mbappe will be part of the GOAT argument that we mentioned Ronaldo because for the GOAT, if it is performance, you don't bring Pele and Maradona close to Ronaldo and Messi. If it is for performance as a football player, these two are miles ahead. The only reason why we mention Maradona and Pele and Maradona, like I've stated to you, Pele played in 4 World Cups. 66, they eliminated them from group stages. They didn't play anything good in 66. 58 was when he was Pele. 62, he got injured. 70, he was encompassed by the greatest Brazilian team ever. So he himself,
That would be
arguable, of course. 82, of course, they didn't win. They did not win. So his exploits were actually when he was 17 years and when in the 1970. And this is an Mbappe, 19. He scores 4 goals. He scores in the final. And at the age of 23, let's say he scores in the final, scores 6 goals. I would mention him ahead of Nazario de Lima. I would. Probably because Nazario de Lima maybe is the second top scorer. But for everything we know that Nazario de Lima did not win a Champions League. The only reason why we mention him is because of his exploits in the World Cup. Mbappe's name should be for everything that goes on, even if he does not win and he scores. He has already cemented himself. Mbappe can retire today. In fact, after the World Cup, he can retire. Because the only reason why we mention so many of the players is because of the so. For what you asked, it is not a matter of sentiment. It's not a matter of trying to say, I'm never downplaying that Maradona was not good. I am only stating the fact that the Maradona noise we make, for all of us who didn't come to meet him, the only thing we mention is 86. If you mention Messi and Ronaldo, it is not about a particular tournament. It is not about a particular. We talk about 15 years of consistency and giving us the best of football. If you mention Pele, he has won 3 World Cups. People don't even get to know that even the 3 World Cups, one of them he didn't really play. He was just part of the team. So Mbappe encompasses everything football. He becomes one of the. If you mention 5 of the greatest footballers who have come, he will usurp this Platini and the Eusebius, and they won't come close to Mbappe for everything he's done.
So it looks like the consensus here has got to be that Mbappe will join the GOAT conversation if he lifts the ultimate on Sunday. But just before we wrap up, Sunday.
Sunday.
Sunday is the big
Sunday, we are
one.
doing it with our fans.
We're doing it with
Yeah,
you who
we're
are
doing it with
tuned
our
in
fans.
with us right about now on YouTube. So do join us Sunday. Follow us on all our social media platforms. We'll bring you info on what is set to happen on Sunday. But my name is David.
But I promise our viewers, I'm bringing a whole dossier on why, even if Messi does not win the cup on Sunday, he's still the greatest player.
Don't worry, I also bring
of
a
all
whole
time.
dossier. I will bring a whole dossier.
So Sunday,
I will bring a whole
Hela.
dossier. Why whether Messi wins or not, he's
Sunday,
still not the greatest of all time.
You can't miss Sunday. Sports 101, we have it covered.
You definitely
We have it covered.
can't miss on Sunday. So do join us at exactly. Follow us on social media platforms. But like we mentioned, we'll set off very early enough so we bring you in-depth analysis on everything you need to know about the World Cup finals, the closing ceremony, and then we'll also be with you post-match after the trophy has been lifted.
When Lionel Messi has cemented his name in the echelons of world football, when he sits on the throne. Hey, Sunday, please, I'm coming with, what is it called? My full Argentine apparel. You know, full Argentine apparel. Blue and white, blue and white. Even my teeth, blue and white. Sunday. Oh no, I'm not kidding.
Don't worry.
See, Sunday, Messi will be crowned.
I will come with my
Sunday,
Portuguese
Messi will be crowned, you know, the king of world football. Then he will lace his unlace
He will
his
retire
boot.
again.
He will
See,
unlace
he will
his
retire
boot
for the
and
second
tell
time.
the world.
Don't worry,
king
I'll post the picture.
has spoken.
What will happen on
This
Sunday?
coming Sunday,
A picture that has already occurred.
there's no need for me to talk a lot. I'm not going to talk a lot. You have how many days? You have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 4 days from now. A lot of things. The game will be played in the realm of the spirit before. A lot of things will happen from now till Sunday. So I don't want to preempt what the oracles and the gods are saying. Sunday, you hear from the mouthpiece.
Sunday, join us on Sports 101.